So they tell you creating a real estate team will give you more freedom and more time. That's the biggest lie in the business. Listen, getting to the level where you can back away from the business a little bit and spend a little more time on the business and not in the business, those all sound really great, but the hardest thing to do is to get there. Many agents fail because they think immediately, I bring on an agent or two and I can immediately start to sell less homes. Here's the fact of the matter. You may need to sell homes to keep the business afloat. You may be the only one producing for a while. One of the hardest things to do is to go meet with someone and say, hey, love for you to join my team. You're a great mid-level producer. You're selling, 15 homes a year. We'd love to have you on our team. We think we could get you to 20, 25 homes a year. And then they ask, okay, who's on your team? Show me the proof, right? Well, it's me and my wife. I sell a lot of homes. She helps me, and that's the extent of our team. That's a really hard sell. So what we did is we started with looking for warm bodies. I was not looking for top producers. I started off looking for just folks with a real estate license who could join the team. So once we got to a place, and if they could sell houses, great, and we certainly tried to help them sell houses. We developed, we got leads, we developed their skills, we worked with them. A lot of times you may have an inkling or think right off the bat that these people are probably not gonna be the ones that make you rich. They're not gonna be the top dogs. Everyone is a contributor, number one. I've never been the type that only looks for the folks who are going to be the top of the pile, the best agents out there. We have some phenomenal agents on our team that are not top producers, but they're great folks. They sell a few homes a year, enough to support themselves and their families and their needs, and that's great by us. Now, if somebody wants to sell 40 homes a year, that's excellent. We've got the tools and the resources to support that. But if they're only looking to sell a few, we don't have the same expectations for everyone across the board. So now circling back, once we brought on a number of people that were, kind of the warm bodies, now it's easier to go sit down at that meeting for someone who may have a little more ability to sell a little bit more, and to sit down with them and say, hey, listen, I've got a team of 6, 7, 8 agents. And all of a sudden that starts to sound a little more valid and viable. So that's really where we started. Now, listen, there's so much that comes along with that. I'm having to train people. I'm having to try to motivate people who are not terribly motivated. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. But I'm having to buy leads. I'm having to work the leads because some of the people I had, I knew were not great on the phones, or were not great at converting leads, but they could sell a house if they could get someone in the car. So for a little while there, I'm on the phones with them, helping them get that business cultivated and get that initial push going for them. Let me give you a little piece of advice on that. Something that I've done throughout my career as a team leader, especially if you see someone with some sort of talent, something in there that you think this could be someone that sells a home, so that can be very successful in this business. I would hand over a deal that I had already locked down, pre-qualified, all but ready to get in the car, just to get that person rolling, just to build that confidence. Did I take a cut in my paycheck, what I could have made on that? Yes, I did. But when that agent went on to sell 32 homes that next year, because I started them with a deal or two to give them that motion, to put them in motion, to give them that inertia, did that pay off? Yes, it did. So I see too many team leaders with too much greed. I have this deal already. I already locked them down. Why wouldn't I just keep it myself? Cool, keep them all. Why even have a team if you're gonna work them all, right? The point is, you are trying to surround yourself with good people that can help grow the team, not for you to continue to do it all. So don't fall into that trap. Don't be greedy. Hand a deal or two off, especially to someone that you have some faith that you think they can turn out to be something special. So I'm spending time on cultivating agents, cultivating new agents, growing the team ground up. I'm spending time bringing on folks that sometimes I don't think are even necessarily going to pan out. but it's bigger picture that I'm looking at. Some of the other places I'm spending time, I'm helping them with their deals. You as an agent already know how difficult this job is. Now you're going to be doing that for other people, 2 and 3 other people. The only thing you're not doing maybe is getting in the car and driving to those appointments. Everything else, you're helping them structure your offers or lock down those listings or do all the things that you normally do on a day-to-day basis, just times 3 or 4 as your team starts to grow. Now, keep in mind, you're still not at a place where you can back out. So if you're doing this to find the easy way out of the easy button, it's the wrong business. Now let's talk about the money you're spending. Leads. What do you have to offer to agents to join your team? You've learned how to sell homes. Maybe you're a Sphere agent. You learned how to work your Sphere and how to sell 42 homes a year to people in your Sphere. That's fantastic. So let me ask you this. What happens when you've taught that agent 6 months from now how to work their Sphere, how to plug into their organizations, how to work social media, how to do all the things that we do to work their Sphere? What do you have to offer after that? If you don't have leads, you probably will not be holding a team for very long. Not only leads, quality leads and systems. Those are the 2 biggest things missed. I hear all the time agents are so turned off by leads, and the reason is because they've been so many places where someone spent $200 a month to bring in 100 garbage leads from the cheapest source they could find, and now that agent thinks all leads are terrible. Number 2 reason is because your training is probably terrible. We'll cover this later. But knowing how to work leads, if you are a Sphere agent, typically getting your business from your Sphere, that's awesome. I applaud you. That is the cheaper way to do this. That's the smarter way to sell real estate. If you want to run a team, I recommend you learn how to work leads, because you're going to have something to offer, and you better be the best one at it. So you're spending time on leads, quality leads. You're going to need quality systems. You're going to need a great CRM. You're going to be able to route those leads where you need them and how you need them, and set up the right systems and ponds and all of that stuff. That costs money. Technology to help nurturing and reach out, cultivating those leads. All of this stuff costs money. If you think that you're not going to be able to invest in your business, that right off the bat you're just going to take a couple of closings, stick that money in your pocket and go party, you're not going to run a team for very long. You need to marry the idea that you are going to dump every dollar that comes in back into that team for a while. And I got bad news for you. If the market tanks, that gets really, really tough. I knew a lot of team leaders 3 years ago who are no longer team leaders today, who are solo agents who will be selling homes for the rest of their career. 2 years ago, through 2023, I was in a place, my wife and I looked at each other daily and said, do we really want to keep doing this? Is this really the thing that we want to keep doing? The answer was yes. Number 1, because it was not about me. It was about helping the agents that we had already with us. It was about the mission of one day not selling houses, 45 and 50 homes a year by myself the way I had done. It was a mission of helping more people help more people, right? The more I can help my agents help more clients, that's just, to me, that was the payoff. And so we slogged through some really, really tough years that it would have made far more financial sense to shut it down. I could have just sold houses, provided for my family, and done just fine. But we had a higher purpose, and if you do not have that, if your reasons are shallow, you will likely not succeed the second a market turns and starts to get a little tough. So make sure your heart is in the right place, first and foremost. Check out our next video where we're going to show you what does work, how to build the culture, how to build a strong, solid team, top producing team, 20, 25 plus agents. We're at 26 agents right now. We're going to show you exactly what we're doing.